So here they have to celebrate because they are the ones who are doing the offering. They're doing the offerings in the day of the inauguration, right? So yesterday we spoke about bringing, if you recall, in this inauguration, that they had to bring a mincha offering, right? And also a shlomim, a peace offering, right? Part of their inauguration. It was unique for the day. So we continue now, and now they're bringing a sin offering. Okay. Again, this is on Rosh Chodesh Kislev, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the first day of the month of Nisan, the second year, inauguration of the Mishkan and the Mizbeach and the altar. Okay, so we're chapter 10, verse number 16. Ve'ez sirachatos, and the seir, which is a goat, chatos, which is for a sin offering. Darish Moshe, Darish, he translates over here, investigated thoroughly, because it's two times, whenever the word is used twice, it's giving an emphasis, right? So he investigated, right, meaning thoroughly, Moshe. V'hine saraf, and behold, it had been burnt. V'yiktseif al Elazar, al Isamar, b'nei Aaron, and Nisanim Lemor. So he got upset. He got angry at Elazar and Isamar, right? The children of Aaron, the sons of Aaron, and the Nisanim that are left, right, that were remaining, saying, okay, let's see Rashi. Sirachatis. What's going on over here? In verse 16. So it's a male goat of a sin offering. Sir Musafi Reish Chodesh. This is a musaf. What's musaf mean?
That's a special offering.
Right, but what does it mean? Extra, right? Additional, right? It's additional, right? On Shabbos we daven musaf. It's additional. Why are we daven it? Because on the times of the Holy Temple, they brought an additional offering. There's a daily offering, right? Not a Shabbos offering. Every day you got to bring an offering, including Shabbos. Since it's Shabbos, you bring an additional. That's called musaf. When else do you bring musaf? Holidays, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Rosh Chodesh. What's today? It's Rosh Chodesh, right? When we daven Rosh Chodesh, we have musaf, correct? Why? Musaf right here. Okay? Musaf right here, the additional, right, offering. So, as Rashi says, Sir Musaf Rosh Chodesh, these are the goats, the male goats that are the additional offerings that are on the first of the month, every first of the month, right? That's why we daven Musaf on Rosh Chodesh, right? And there were 3 he-goats of a sin offering, Karvu Boy Bayoim, that were offered on that day. We had earlier, right? We're in chapter 10 over here, right? In chapter 9, verse 3, there was also in the inaugural day, right? That was brought. That was one. Cool with Sirizim, take a he-goat. We'll see here Nachshon, and there's also what Nachshon will bring. That will be later in Parshas Nosai in the book of Numbers. We'll have that, right? That was each day, one of the heads of each tribe brought a goat, right? We mentioned that this morning, right? Nachshon is from Yehuda. Then came Yisachar, came afterwards, right? That was in today's earlier class. That whoever it merits to be up at 7:05 to learn gets to learn that. Or Sirah Chodesh, that was a
paid programming.
Yeah, unpaid. So that was the second one. Umikolam and all of them. And now the one for Rosh Chodesh. That Aaron and his sons, right? Loy Nisraf Elazeh. Only this one was burnt entirely. In other words, a Musaf offering is not meant to be entirely burnt, right? But this one was.
That's why he's upset.
Right. And the sages of Israel, they are divided in opinion about this. There are those that say, too much in Agaboy, because of the impurity which touched it, Nisraf, it was burnt. In other words, normally the meat of the sin offering would be eaten by the Kohanim, right? But this one was burnt entirely because it became in contact with something impure. So therefore, it was, right? That's what one opinion is, or an opinion in the Gemara. Right? Those that say, no, because they were in a state of, what's aninus? Aninus is a mourning death, the day of passing, right? Of someone that you need to mourn for. So this is a son or a brother, right? And Aaron and Allah and his summer, they have to mourn. That's the law. And Nisraf, that's why they burnt it. Because it is holy for all generations. But regarding those that are holy, in other words, only for a particular time, some they relied on Moshe. They said regarding the mincha meal offering, that eat it unleavened. In other words, the mincha offering usually is leavened, is unleavened, right? But this one second. Wait a second. So wait a second. According to the first opinion, right, that it came in contact with impurity. Only this one was burnt entirely. Because only this one came in contact with impurity. According to the second opinion, only the sin offering of Rosh Chodesh was burned. Was burned in accordance with the law of Kohanim that are sin aninus, right? Would only apply here because the other ones were exceptional. This is not exceptional because it's going to be for all generations, right? In other words, the other two sin offerings were exceptional. Why are they exceptional? Nachshon is bringing it's only a one-time offering, right? And also the fact it's inaugural day that Aaron brought is also exceptional. But the Musaf is not exceptional. It's for generations.
That's one that was burnt.
Yeah, that's one that was burned. The question is, why was it burned?
Yeah, and there's
Right. It's to right. Okay. So this is well, Moshe Darish, he inquired, shtei drishas, two inquiries. Mipnei ma nisrav zeh, why was this one burned? Ma nechlu elu, and why were these eaten? In other words, the other ones were eaten. The other, all right,
yeah, so
were eaten.
one was burnt.
Exactly. Kachi b'teres kanim, so it's understood in the Midrash. Next, Rashi, Elazar v'Samar. Elazar and Samar, he was upset. Why should he be upset with Aaron's sons? Shouldn't he be upset with Aaron? I mean, Aaron's the one who's in charge. He's the one who's responsible, right? He's the Kohen Gadol. So why would he be upset with the sons, not the father? So Rashi says, because to spare Aaron and his honor. Hafach upanav, Moshe turned his face keneged abanim towards his sons and he displayed anger to them. And he was also angry at Aaron, right? But in his honor, he displayed the anger to the sons. Follow?
Yeah. Does that help? Is that a thing? Like if you if you're honoring someone to not get angry at him and to get angry at, like, does this happen elsewhere?
Yeah, obviously it's a teachings for sure. For sure, it's a teachings. Absolutely. Laymor, last Rashi here, saying, Amar Lehem, he said to them, Ashibun al Dvarai, respond to me regarding my words. In other words, what I'm claiming against what you did against what you did. Right? Explain to me what's going on. Right? Madua lo yachaltem, next verse 17. Madua lo yachaltem. Why is it that you didn't eat as a chates b'mekayim kodesh to eat this sin offering in a place of holiness? Ki kadosh kadashim he, because it is holy of holiness, as it's the highest degree of holiness. V'oisan nasan lachem lasei, says avain, and this was given to you, right? This sin offering was given to you in order to gain forgiveness al avana eda, on the sin of the community, l'chaper aleihem, to bring atonement for them, lifnei Hashem, before God. In other words, you needed to eat this in order to bring atonement for the people, and by burning it, you didn't accomplish that. Right? That's what he's upset. He's not upset because how come you didn't make lunch for me?
Yeah.
Why don't you leave me leftovers?
So they ate the other two offerings.
Yeah. Yes.
There's 3 goats, right?
Yeah. 1 second. Yes. Yeah. So Rashi 17, why didn't you eat this sin offering in a holy place? Did they eat it outside the sanctuary? Like, what is he saying? Why didn't you eat it in its proper place? They burnt it. So it wasn't like, did you eat it in the right place? So what does he mean to say over here? But Malcolm called this should say in a holy place. But this is what he means. Perhaps you went out with the meat of the sin offering beyond the curtains. In other words, the perimeter of the courtyard where you're allowed to. The nifsal, and it became disqualified. Right? As you took it out of its place, it's no longer qualified to be eaten, and that's why you burnt it. That's what he's asking. Right? And this was given to you to gain forgiveness. By the Kohanim eating the sin offering, and the owner who brings the sin offering gains atonement. And who's the owner here? The Jewish people. They need atonement. To give forgiveness, to gain forgiveness for the sin of the community. From here we learn that this was a male goat, the first of the month, right, which they did not eat, which brings atonement. What's it bring an atonement for? The impurity of the sanctuary and its holies. Meaning, in other words, if someone would sin entering the sanctuary or eating when they were in impure state, this would bring an atonement for that, right? Shemini, for the sin offering of the 8th day of the inauguration, Chatas Nachshon, and the sin offering of Nachshon, who was the head of the tribe of Yehuda, right? They didn't come for atonement, right? Those don't say atonement, right? This one does say atonement. 18. And behold, you did not bring its blood. Because it got all burnt, right? So not only didn't they eat from it, they also didn't bring the blood. Pnima, to the sanctuary within. You should have eaten it, in holiness, as I commanded you. Okay, Rashi 18. Behold, the blood was not brought, because if it had been brought into the sanctuary, you should have burnt it. As it says, any sin offering that you should bring the blood to effect atonement should not be eaten, it shall be burnt by a fire.
But he's upset with them for burning it.
One second. I'm not clear. Let me just see. 1 second. If you brought, because it says pnima, inwards. In other words, that you brought the blood and they brought it inside and brought it to the inside in the holies, right? So then you would think it disqualifies and you can't eat the meat thereof, right? But no, it doesn't in this instance.
Yeah.
Normally, if you would bring the blood should be put on the outer altar. But if it was brought in and it was brought on the inside into the sanctuary itself, so then you would think that it would disqualify it. No, it doesn't disqualify it. That's the point. And that, in other words, you might think because maybe you brought the blood and brought it inside and therefore disqualified, and that's why you didn't eat it. Right? You're saying, no, that's a mistake. No, then it continues. No. You have to eat it. You should have eaten it. Even though you are oinanim, right? That you are mourning. So I'm not clear then what was the previous point then. Hmm. No, actually, it's saying the opposite. That if it's one second. Okay, so there's 2 points over here. There's a point in that if you brought the blood on the inside, that you might think that it disqualifies. No, and you should have eaten it, even if you're in a state of the oinanim. In other words, you're a mourner, right, on the day of passing. Kashetsu basi lachem b'mincha. As I, so what is it? Where did he command? He didn't command concerning this, right? But he commanded by the mincha that they had to eat from it. So, like the mincha, likewise over here. 19. Now Aaron responds. Yidaber Aaron el Moshe, and Aaron spoke to Moshe, Hein hayom hikrivu es chatoschem. Today did they offer up the sin offering? Es losam lifnei Hashem, and the burnt offering before God. V'tikrena oisi ke'ela. But if it happened to me like this, meaning the tragic events of 2 sons dying, and if I would have eaten from the sin offering today, would that have pleased God? Let's see Rashi. So again, what is he saying? But today, did they offer up the, okay, let's see Rashi. Hidaber Aaron. Aaron spoke. Ein lashon diber el lashon oz. He didn't say vayomer. Yomer is a softer language. Vayidaber is a strong term. In other words, he spoke with force. Shenemar, as it says, vidaber ha'am, and the people spoke. After Moshe Katzav al Elazar Summer, is it possible that Moshe vented his anger on Elazar and Summer, but Aaron Midaber, and Aaron spoke in response? Hi, Yedaitas. So you see now that you know Shaloi Haisa Ela Midas Kovi, that Elazar and Summer's the fact that they didn't respond. Remember, Moshe spoke to the 2 sons, right? And they didn't respond, right? It was a measure of respect towards their father, Aaron. They didn't respond because of their father. Amru, they said, Bidin, it would be improper, that our father should sit in silence, and that we should speak in his presence. Bidin, and it would be improper, that a pupil should respond and refute his teacher. In other words, refute who? Moshe. So they can't speak because it would be improper in front of their father to speak. It wouldn't be honorable that they should speak, right? And it wouldn't be proper for them to speak because to refute Moshe and what he said. So they didn't respond. So Yochel, so one might think they didn't respond because Allah was not capable of responding. Right? In other words, it's Nebuch, he didn't have what to say. That's what you might think. Talmud Loimar, but the verse says otherwise. Later on, in the end of Numbers of Bamidbar, we see that he did. He said to the men in the army, after his father passed away and he became Kohen Gadol, we see that when he wanted to speak, he spoke before in the presence of Moshe. There he spoke in front of Moshe to the men of the army. And he spoke in the presence of all the leaders. This I found in this Sifri. Now, why Rashi brings us over here, I guess, is because the fact that Aaron, right, he's bothered by the fact that Aaron is responding when Elazar, why didn't he respond? So that's why he gives the explanation. Yeah. Okay. Now, continuing. Was this the day to be offered? What is he saying? Ella Amar lahem Moshe. But Moshe said to them as follows: Perhaps you sprinkled his blood while you were an oinen, right? Mourner. Sha'oinen, sha'avad, because an oinen who performs a service while he's a mourner, chilel, he defiles the service. So Amar la Yarein. Aaron said to him, is this is it they who brought the offering? Shem Hedyotis, that they are a common kohen? Ani crafty. I'm the one who brought the offering. Shani kohen golo. I'm the high priest. Makriv einin, and may bring an offering as an einin.
So the high priest can do it, but not the regular kohen.
One second. So, okay. For him being an oinen, kohen gadol doesn't apply to him, right? But applies to his two sons because they're regular kohanim. So they shouldn't do the service, right? They shouldn't do the service. But was he saying, I did the service? I did the service, right?
Right, they shouldn't do the service. You mean they shouldn't be involved in it at all, or they shouldn't be doing like this specific action?
The actions of the service, right? Not the eating, right? They're permitted to eat, but they couldn't do the service. Aaron could do the service as Kohen Gadol. Yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't apply to him. Okay, let's go further. Had I eaten the sin offering, if I eaten the sin offering, would he approve? Would God approve of that? Hayoim. See further in Rashi. Hayoim, this day of Anina's Laila. But being an Einin at night, at the night following the death of a close relative mutar, it's permitted for a kohen to eat of that which is holy. Shein Einin Eliyoim, because an Einin is only in the day of burial, right? So, in other words, at nighttime could eat from it. The night following the day. By day of the passing and the burial, you are an Einin, right? And the Einin would not be able to eat that which is holy, but at nighttime they could.
But when you're speaking of day, you're meaning like sunrise to sunset. You're not talking about like a.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Hayita be'enei Hashem, would this be would Hashem approve this? Im shemaita, if you heard that we have made partake of the offerings despite of being an einin, mikoche shah, regarding that which is holy for the hour, that which is holy only at a particular time, such as the sin offerings of the inauguration of that one of Nachshin and Lachalahakil. You can't be lenient insofar as an einin eating, mikoche dairis, that which is holy for generations, or that which is holy for future generations, such as the sin offering the first of the month. In other words, saying like this: to eat that the other two offerings, fine. Why? Because it's only a temporary thing, right? And for that, you can have the leniency, and as an oinen eat. But here, this is something for future generations, right? So shouldn't eat it by day because they're anointed. Eat it at night. But they burnt it. They didn't eat it at night. And in general, by night, you would be able to eat it, right? So he's saying that's why it got burnt.
I don't understand.
Hold on one second. Let me just see here. A second. I just want to clarify something. Since this is a sin offering for generations, right? Right, Musaf. So for that which is inaugural, therefore you could eat from it. But this, you should not eat from it. This is what he's arguing back to him. It should not be
one.
No, it's not inaugural. This is Musaf for Rosh Chodesh. It's not inaugural.
Okay.
Right? So being that it's for generations, don't we know the law already that an oinen shouldn't eat from it? And that's why it was burned. Okay? And therefore was burnt, right? Exactly. So next verse, last one. V'yishma Moshe v'yita beinav. And Moshe heard this and it was pleasing to his eyes. V'yita beinav Rashi haida v'loy bayish leimar loy shamaiti. Moshe admitted to Aaron that he was correct, and he wasn't ashamed to do that. He didn't cover up saying, I didn't, right? And say, I did not hear this law. Rather, he says to Aaron that you're right. I heard this, that an oinen shouldn't eat a sacrifice that will be offered in the future generations. But he forgot.
So was this the first Musaf offering ever?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so then,
Well, this is inauguration day, so before that there was no Rosh Chodesh, there was no Mishkan to make an offering, right?
but if he had eaten this one, then that would have set the precedent that.
It would have been wrong. In other words, that would have been wrong
Okay.
because he was taught this. So you're not supposed to do that, right?
But then in the time to cut, like in
Okay,
the.
see you short.